All right, welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Okay, so I saw this a couple of days ago, and this is going around social media a lot. Of course, it's from the Democrats, of course. It says Occupy Democrats, okay? I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I don't care about none of this stuff. It's all fake. So, I don't really care, okay? And a lot of you guys all already know that as well. Okay, these people are puppets. We already know that. Now, but I seen this and I said, wait a minute. You know, putting this up here on social media and letting it go around and people liking it and hitting the love button or whatever the case may be, that's something I would have done maybe 8 years ago before I actually started to actually learn about what's really happening around the world and who these people really are and what really goes on behind the scenes with the elites and things of that nature. If I didn't know any of that stuff, then I would see this and I would actually probably say, okay, cool, Obama did his thing, you know, because if you look at this, it says last year of George Bush versus today. It says 7.2% percent unemployment rate for George Bush, only 5.1% for Obama. Okay? Now, if you look at that and you don't know anything about financials, if you don't know Wall Street, if you're not in Wall Street, if you don't know really what's going on with the economic side of America, you would actually believe that that was true. Even if you see the massive amount of homeless people out in New York and Florida and California and play in DC, even if you walk by all that, you would still think this was true because that's how brainwashed people are. Okay, now if you look at these numbers, you see that 5.1% for Obama today. There's no way in HELL that the unemployment rate is at 5%. Why? Well, because first of all, there's massive amount of homeless people in the streets, massive amount of veterans that don't have a job. Also, the welfare numbers have skyrocketed. So how could they be 5.1% unemployment if the welfare has skyrocketed under Obama? Just think about that. Now, what they did to get to 5%, I'll tell you if you guys want to know. What they did was what happened is a lot of full-time jobs became part-time jobs. Okay? So a lot of people are working part-time and they're including that in this 5%. And not only that, if you fill out a form to receive unemployment or welfare or some type of government aid, you're also considered employed. That's how they got the 5%. If you guys really want to know. So people that actually file for welfare, unemployment and things of that nature, they're actually considered people that are working under Obama. That's how he got the 5%. Okay. So George Bush doesn't look that bad at 7.2. If you look at it that way. Okay. And then let's go to the cost of gas, of a gallon of gas. So it's okay. So it says George Bush was 3.24, which is not bad. Cost of gallon of gas, and Obama is at 2.32. I don't know what the cost of gas is right now. I have no clue. But okay, they say 2.31. Okay, 2.31. Okay, I mean, I'm not even gonna really consider any of that. We know that gasoline prices are controlled by the elites, so they could raise it up, raise it down at any time. And one of the reasons why gasoline prices fell is because America wanted to crush Russia's economy. So it's not like Obama uh, put it down for the to help the citizens of America. He put it down to crush Russia's economy. Well, the government of America because Obama's actually working with Russia, and he told Putin he was working with him as well on live video that he didn't know it was running live. Anyways, but they also they also brought the value of oil down to remove the Daesh and ISIS from certain areas, so they could basically bankrupt them from making profits off of oil. Okay, and those are the same people that they fund. Remember, so you fund them, and then you say, oh, wait a minute, they're getting out of control. Let's lower the oil prices so they don't get too out of control. Okay. Um, and then it says 15% uninsured rate to 9.2%. I don't know what uninsured rate is. I'm not going to get into that one. 11 million oil barrels imported, okay, and 4.5 million imported. Okay. Let's go to the next one, because I'm not even going to get into that. All these numbers are incorrect and rigged anyways, and so it doesn't really matter. Teen pregnancy, I don't know what this is. It says 40.2 to 1,000, and then over here it says 26.5 to 1,000. Okay. Now, teen pregnancies is lower underneath Obama but they don't tell you in parentheses that the reason why teen pregnancy is lower under Obama is because almost all the teens are having abortions. Abortions are 10 times, have risen 100%, probably 100,000% under Obama compared to Bush. So teens pregnancy here is 40.2 to 1,000, and 26 is half because the other half are getting abortions. Okay, now you just saw at the Democratic National Convention, one of the ladies that was speaking, she praised her abortion, and the crowd went crazy. So the Democrats love abortion, and the Republicans do not. So under Bush, you're going to see more teen pregnancies because they're actually having their children, and under Obama, they're not. But they don't put those figures on here, do they? Let's see here. It says Iran's centrifuges. I don't know. I have no clue what that is. Now they're trying to praise Obama here for Iran. Well, isn't Obama's the same one who did the terrible Iran deal that we're now going to have to face in America for years to come. Okay, I know some of you guys have the Iranian rial currency, and you're like, well, you know what, it's gonna make me a lot of money, but if you're still living in America, you're gonna feel the consequences of that Iran deal at some point. Now, of course, if you take your money and you run and you move outside and you go to somewhere else, then maybe you won't. Okay, but Obama did sign that horrendous. I don't even think Obama read that Iran deal. Horrendous Iran deal that the Senate, even all the Congress and Senate begged him not to sign that deal. It was so bad, and he still did. Okay. But they didn't put that down here on there. They just Okay, so it says GDP growth negative 0.3% and plus 3.7%. I don't know where we got the plus 3.7% for Obama GDP growth. I have no clue, because America ain't growing nothing. America's in debt every year. We're in more debt than we can even handle right now. Okay, and for the and here's the reason why we're in debt. Down here, Dow Jones at 10,355, Obama 16,000, now is at 18,000. That's one of the reasons why you can understand that this number is definitely fake, because the Dow Jones is at 18,000 plus right now. Okay, how in the world did we get there? Well, it's called quantitative easing. And no, they won't tell you here that these numbers are fake. They won't tell you that these numbers are from quantitative easing. George Bush didn't have any quantitative easing. Obama did. Obama did quantitative easing 1, quantitative easing 2, quantitative easing 3. It's basically like me going out on the internet and buying fake views and buying fake likes. And then what happens is one of my subscribers puts up my views compared to somebody else's views on YouTube. It says, "Ha ha, my guy, Currency 365. Look at him. He's got the numbers. That's basically what the Democrats are doing here. Okay, so it's the same thing as one of my subscribers, putting me side by side with somebody else, and I got all fake, and I went out and bought fake views and fake likes and things of that, and fake comments. Okay, this is exactly what they're doing here. So the Democrats have done quantitative easing 1, 2, and 3, which is printing money. Okay, they have printed billions and billions of dollars, and they propped up, and they asked the Feds to prop up the market. That's why the market is going to 20,000, because the Feds are basically buying the shares in the Wall Street. Okay, it's not real. It's only a little bit of investors, and it's mostly the Feds. Okay, so at some point it's all gonna crash. Okay, so the Feds do quantitative easing 1, 2, and 3, and print all this money so they can make it look like America's great. You know what I mean? And this is why you get this. This is why you get these numbers. This is why you get these numbers. All these numbers are mainly from quantitative easing. Bush didn't do any of that. So the fact that his numbers are not that bad for not doing quantitative easing. Look at the unemployment. Quantitative easing, no quantitative easing. That's pretty good if you ask me. Okay, so basically you prop this guy up with quantitative easing 1, 2, and 3, which is printing trillions and trillions of US dollars, and then you say, look at the side by side. It's almost the same thing as me going out and buying fake views, fake comments, and fake likes, and then one of my subscribers saying, "Look at the side by side between this Currency 365 and this other YouTuber. Look at all the views he has. Look at all the likes he had." But I went out and bought those. It's the same thing here. The government of Obama went out and bought the Dow Jones. He bought all of this with quantitative easing. But they don't say that down here, do they? There's nowhere down here that says this side did quantitative easing 3 times and this side did 0. And so that's how they deceive. This is how they deceive the masses. Because anybody in Wall Street knows that these numbers are fake. These numbers actually might be real because he didn't do any quantitative easing. These numbers over here are completely fake. These numbers have quantitative easing, not just 1 time, but 3 times. Okay, so these numbers are all wrong. These are false numbers, and we're going to see the effects of these false numbers in the near future, especially when the Dow goes to 20,000 and then starts to collapse from there. Because it's going to go back to around 12,000 to 15,000, and then it's going to go back up to 20,000, and then that's it. Once it goes back to 20,000, it's going to crash, and that will be it. Wall Street, there won't be no more Wall Street. Okay, so I'm telling you guys now, these numbers are fake, and you're going to see the results of that in America. So you guys can keep cheering this on. Even though it's fake numbers, you can keep cheering that on and live in a fantasy world. But I'm telling you, when the Dow Jones goes to 20,000, which only like 3 people in the whole entire world was saying this 2-3 years ago. Okay, so I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so when the Dow Jones goes to 20,000, it's gonna go to 20,000. It's gonna stay there for a little bit, and then it's going to come back down to about 12,000 to 15,000 range. Then it's going to go back to 20,000, okay? And it's actually going to go a little bit higher than that. It's going to go to about 21, 22,000, okay? And then it's going to fall completely, okay, after it does that. So it's going to go from like 21,000, 22,000, and it's going to go to like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. It's going to crash completely, and there will be no more Wall Street. Everybody will be so devastated when that happens, and that's coming in the future. I don't know when that's going to happen, but once you see 20,000, then we know we're only a few years away from the Dow completely crashing and never coming back. Okay, and then there will be no more Wall Street. And that's gonna be, I don't even know what to say about that, but that's what's coming in the future. But right now we got it. We're about to see the first 20,000, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so these numbers are propped up and fake. Okay, eyes open to that. Peace out.